Have you guys ever felt like something is just not right with your drawing, but you can't put your finger on it? Maybe it's the anatomy, maybe the pose just feels off. Redlining might be the trick that you need to sharpen your skills and spot those problem areas like instantly without having to erase anything. So first, what is redlining? Redlining refers to red lines to mark corrections, guidelines, structural adjustments on a piece. Now, this is done in architect stuff. This was done, like, I believe in the 80s and 90s, where someone would take their art to the person above them and they would, redline over it and be like, here, fix this, and then they would give it back, right? This is typically done as kind of like a critique or a revision by the mentor, teacher, artist to highlight the areas that need improvement, such as anatomy, proportions, or perspective. Red lines can also show where adjustments should be made to enhance the composition, flow, and form. Now, digital artists use this as a form of visual feedback without permanently altering the underlying art. These marks help guide the artist to make specific adjustments that can be removed once they are applied. Now, what I'm going to do to show you guys a little bit of an example with redlining is I'm going to show you a person who I found from 4chan who is called Mr. Teal Line. He's a guy who is a professional artist. He posts on there and he gives you amazing advice if he actually takes your work and lines you. And he's known as the Mr. Teal Line because he has teal lines. He doesn't use red lines. So we're going to look at his first. So here we are, and here is some of Mr. Teal Line. So we're going to find something here. Now this guy is amazing. So let's find some advice that he's given people. So let's look at this. Ooh, I can't click on it too good. It says, there are fundamental issues in the faces that you draw. I will focus on this one, for example. There is no clarity to the orientation of the face. Since the features in the face contour offer competing messages, the mouth structure in particular is flawed. Obviously, you don't need to draw so many construction lines. However, the more agreement you can find between these lines, the more replicable precision you'll have in the placement of facial features. You should strive to have a good idea of the 3 axes/6 directions of any object you draw. And then pay attention to the underlying structure of what you're drawing. Mouth in perspective is a figure 8 infinity symbol. Teeth are inside the mouth and they should not appear to share the same planes of the mouth. Even children cartoons like Phineas and Ferb are careful to show the space between teeth, tongue, and mouth. Most anime take an even more complex approach, especially with teeth, even in extreme simplification. The difference between Japan anime and superficial copies is respect for the structure. So as you can see here, look, he's correcting someone's face here. Notice how the skull is not exactly round. It is, I can't even read that word. Oh, it is not reliable to use. Initial construct for exact proportions. They're just to give you a general idea. You keep adjusting proportions as you finish. Which is, I didn't actually think about that. I do that as well. Here's some guy's art here. And it goes, at the design stage, envision bangs as a few flat strips of paper and wrap them around the head. Don't try to bundly draw the contour of the hair in one go. Do that later if you wish. He gives people these very complicated, like, how to draw the leg in perspective. How to draw, he uses a lot of the infinity symbol as how to draw certain things. And that's why he goes over a lot of people's work. Like he was talking about like this person's art right here, this girl. They said that the proportions are wrong and that bubble butts feel inappropriate for this type of face design. Like her ass should be skinnier. And then when he draws it more muscular because she looks to be more muscular. It's just, this guy is great. This guy is great. And he goes, the one thing, so this is what he says here when he finishes it. Even when copying/doing a study, try sketching through and construction. The one thing copying contour lines will not teach you is how the artist decided to place the lines. So, pretty good advice. And I'll link this below for you guys so you guys can look over the advice this guy gives because he's really smart. And if you guys want, I actually use 4chan's board ick for, advice and for help sometimes. If you guys want, I can make a video about it. I've kind of been working on it, but this is just to see if you guys might be interested in that. So now we're going to go to where I'm going to show you how redlining also works in real time. I'm going to redline one of my old pieces. All right, so we're going to do this in real time. I'm going to use this purple line because I like those the most. So we're going to go, this is my character Erised, by the way. I do actually have a video about her if you guys are interested. It's one of my fancy videos. So I'm going to draw over this image here to show where the problem area is. So her head is a little bit too crazy. Like she's tilted her head back, which is kind of, and I'm better now at proportions. So yeah. So clearly I was going for crossed arms, but as we know, I did not even draw the second arm. Oh, sorry. You guys know how I am. So I have to draw the other elbow and her other hands up here, right? So this would be the redlining stage, right? So you can see where the errors are because I drew her shoulder too far forward. I drew it so far forward that you actually couldn't see the rest of her. Maybe I'll redraw this at some point. There's also, I don't mind if her neck's a little bit back because she's supposed to be head tilted down, but like, I think that maybe it would be more interesting. Well, we'll see. Maybe that would be more interesting. Well, it's supposed to be a composition, so the composition should go like this, and her hair should come. This is a light redlining, okay? I'm not very good at it, especially on my own work, so forgive me. Don't judge me. I can feel judgment. But the point is that someone better than you would come along and fix some of these mistakes for you and show you what you did wrong. Oh God, her looks terrible, but you get the gist. You get the gist. I'm not very good at correcting my own work. So, yep, that is that. Now, where do you get red lines? So, where I get red lines is I get red lines from 4chan. I've gotten them from Twitter. I've gotten them from Tumblr. I've gotten them from, sometimes I get them from Reddit, but it takes so long to get a red line from Reddit that it's almost not worth it. If you can find someone who's better than you that you're friends with, ask them to look over your art for you. That's what I would do. But the reason why I made this video in the first place is because I asked for a red line before on Reddit, and the person had no idea what I was talking about. They called it a draw over or a paint over, but I always knew it as redlining. So I thought I would just make a video about it, so maybe next time you guys could know the term, because I thought that this was a really common term and everybody knew what I was talking about, but nobody knew except in certain areas. And that's it. If you guys are interested in my character Erised, there's a video about her on my other channel. And if you guys want to know about my recent speed paint, it is also there. You guys can also watch my sketch with me video. That is also there. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.